we're just wrapping up the little morning routine with the vitamins. It was funny when I was holding the vitamins, I was thinking about the scene on E.T. where E.T. like is walking up the stairs and he has like the Reese's in his hands, and then he comes to the top of the stairs and just like lays them out. I don't know why that scene came into my head when I was having my vitamins, probably because they're all in my hand like that. But this morning, we're about to head out and go do an arm workout. I normally would have a leg workout, trying to baby the hip, make sure that that's okay. Just because before I was dealing with the right hip impingement, now we're dealing with the left hip impingement. If you guys don't know what can cause that, I've found out that a lot of sitting mixed with a lot of running can do that to you, because sitting is actually not good for your lower back and your sacrum, which can affect your hips, especially if you're doing a lot of heavy running, lifting, and all that stuff. So that's what we're doing. And dang, Ethan's been doing a lot of my filming lately. So now that I'm holding the camera, my shoulder has gotten pretty damn weak from that. But yeah, no, we're going to be doing that. Also, I need to check out what's going on with my camera today at Best Buy at some point, because I don't know what is going on, but whenever I put like an SD in the side of the camera, it doesn't work with certain SDs now. And so that's a big problem for me, because I have a lot of money in SDs, and if only like half of those work, yeah, it's just a big problem. But we'll figure that out later today. We're gonna pour our coffee and just get out of here. That was a good freaking workout today. The only thing that bothered me was the fact that my camera is just, it's not working. I don't know what's going on. It kind of like happened almost overnight in like the month of September. I started noticing that like my screen right now, when you flip out the screen, it would normally flip to mirror to show you exactly what you're looking at. In other words, like how it looks from your end, but now it's showing me how it looks from the other end of the camera. The SD card slot thing just isn't working with particular SDs, makes no sense. And then today in the gym, I would press record after turning on the camera. So like, I don't even know if this video that I'm saying is about to save, because it was like rewriting on the SD card. And so I'm not too sure what's going on. I really don't want to bite the cost of another camera right now, but I do need to figure out what's going on. I don't know if on this camera you can replace the SD card holder, but it kind of sounds like just the whole like wiring system of my camera is just shot.
It's weird. It shouldn't have any water damage or anything. It's not like this camera's ever been like soaking wet before. I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's rained sometimes and like it's gotten some water on it, but as of recently, like it really hasn't. So that's the part where it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm going to go to Best Buy during my lunch today at work, kind of see what's going on, and hopefully everything's fine. I'll let you guys know kind of what happens kind of toward the end of the day, but yeah, no, we got to go to work, eat this post-workout meal. I'll see y'all later.
Wait, wrong one. There we go. There we go. So this is actually a new flavor of Hydrate. There's 2 flavors, and this is one of the ones that came out. It's the orange cranberry. I'm so excited to try this. Like, cranberry juice is freaking bomb in itself. So I bet this is just phenomenal. I've never had like orange cranberry juice before, but it sounds like a good mix. I think. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's give it a rip. Wow. That reminds me, hold on. That reminds me of like the peach mango, where like it's got that strong flavor. Man, I don't know where to put this one. Arctic Freeze was number 1, but they took that one away. So that would make peach mango number 1. But this is kind of like right up there with it, but it's not as strong as the peach mango one. I'll give this one the tie at first for now with peach mango, but we'll see, because as time goes on, I'll start naturally choosing one over the other. So we're still not running, unfortunately. And the reason I'm not running right now is partially due to my left hip having the impingement now, but more so because my chiropractor was like, hey, I just like don't need you to run right now because, you know, I'm trying to loosen you up, and when you're running, it's like working against what I'm trying to do, and I can't track my progress that well if you're running and it's constantly, you know, getting you to tighten up. So I haven't been running, but next week we will be running. I think we're going to meet up with Harrison. He was in the one of the last videos where it was like the Deftone song, and we met up and got a good kick-ass workout in there. And so we'll probably meet up with him at like a track, maybe like UPS or something, get a good night jog or jaunt in there. But yeah, no, we'll be back to it soon. But I kind of wanted to talk about some of the mistakes I made with hybrid training, just with like me being injured and stuff. It's kind of got me to come to a place of like, okay, what have I been doing wrong with this type of training? Maybe what are some of the things I could advise other people to do so that they don't fall into this, you know, some of the similar positions that I've been in, especially since I've been training like this for some years now. And that's exactly what I'm going to cover in today's video. And I was debating on getting the whiteboard out, but I feel like the whiteboard wasn't really needed for today's video. But the first thing that I want to point out when it comes to training like this is that it's not black and white. In other words, like, it's not just running and it's not just lifting, right? It's a multitude of things. It's really just being an athlete at the end of the day. And I think when people think of athletes, they only think of the actual thing that they're doing. So for example, in this case, it would be the running and the lifting. And what gets lost in translation a lot of the time, especially with athletes, is all the little stuff that you have to do in between, right? You know, you might look at a football player and think, oh, he plays football, but there's so much more to him being an athlete than just the fact that he plays football. That would, you know, mean, you know, he's stretching, he's doing mobility works. Like, there's so many other things that go into just being an athlete rather than the actual sport itself that they're playing. And I think that gets very lost in translation, especially when people begin to pick up athletic things such as this. You know, you can't just pick up, you know, this kind of demand on your body and expect to not do any like stability work, no mobility work, and expect your body really to just be fine, because it's not going to be fine. You know, it's going to let you know, and my body has let me know before, you know, that, hey, I'm not good with doing this. This is not going to work for me. And I suffered the consequences from it. And so I know that this kind of training is becoming popular, and as long as you understand that, take that into accountability, or take that into account, you'll be okay. This is something that I think I have prefaced a lot of the times on the channel, and it's that you can't be a master of multiple things. There's that whole saying of like, a jack of all trades is a master of none, and that is particularly true, especially when it comes to excelling at a sport.
I know when I was training for my marathon, I was lifting first in the morning instead of running first. Granted, it was my first marathon, so I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, but my time probably could have been so much better had I just been focusing more on the running aspect and not so much on the lifting aspect. I was lifting just as much as I was prior to marathon training, and I think that was just a big mistake because I was trying to be a master at both, when in reality I was trying to get ready for a marathon and trying to do my best, and I was trying to become the master at that, and I just wasn't. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when you're trying to become the master of both of these things, you can actually overtrain yourself, and that's not good because you never excel at both, and you can also get injured. The next thing is, like, rest days are needed. A lot of the times I think, especially in like the lifting community, people are like, oh no, rest days, that's pussy shit. It's like, we all go to bed, right? Like that counts as rest, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, why do we even sleep? It's because our body needs to rejuvenate, and the same thing goes for our bodies. Like, you need to take a rest day. There's really no explanation to that. And I do take more of like an active approach to my rest day. I might be doing some like mobility and some stability work, still get some blood flow, get some movement going through my body so I don't feel like I'm not doing shit during the day. I'm still showing up and doing something, but you need rest days, guys. Another thing is hydrating properly. And I think that for a while, or I just think in general, you can actually kind of get away with just lifting without hydrating properly, because when you're just lifting, at least for me, I wasn't sweating nearly as much and losing as much electrolytes as I do when I run. Like when I run, like I'm losing a lot of water, I'm losing a lot of sodium, potassium, magnesium, I'm losing a lot of that stuff compared to lifting. And so what I have found is that, if you're not properly hydrating, you are more susceptible to cramps, and that's just gonna lower your performance in both the gym and in running. Because I think when I was first starting out, I can remember just being super tight. Like I felt like I would go to work out and my muscles were just cramping and getting so tight. And it was because I was losing so much water during the day. And granted, when I had really gotten into this style of training, it was the summertime. And so, it was hotter than usual outside. I'm sweating even more. And so I learned that lesson pretty early on. So just make sure, you're properly hydrating. I mean, that's what I'm sipping on right now. I just have it every day. Sometimes it's 2 times a day, depending on how hard the workout was. And if I lost a lot, if I went and ran a half marathon, it was 98 out, which I've done before, it probably would require a couple of these to, help rejuvenate some of the electrolytes and stuff that I lost. And I think that that's a huge mistake. Now, this next thing I'm going to share with you guys isn't necessarily a mistake that I made. It's just something that I never really took into account. So when you're training like this, you need to analyze the lifestyle that you currently live. And what I mean by that is, or at least what I mean by that for an example for myself, is that, I was living this lifestyle where I sat down from let's just say 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? And that's a pretty inactive lifestyle, right? But then before that, I was training super hard, and after that, I'm training super hard, right? I've been doing that kind of style of living for 3 years. And it never really occurred to me that those are so counter opposite that they're gonna cause counter opposite effects, right? Like if I'm sitting all day and then I go and do this super active crazy thing all day, it creates this imbalance because you have 2 things that are going in opposing directions. And that's how these hip impingements actually happen, because I was sitting all day and I'm slouching like this and my sacrum begins to move, which tightens my hips. And that's just something, again, it wasn't a mistake, but I would definitely suggest analyzing that. You might be like, okay, well, how do I fix that? Just incorporate in some sort of aspect into your day. Okay, if I sit around a lot at work, what do I need to do to kind of get my body moving so that it's ready for the very active lifestyle that I live outside of this? Maybe just get up, maybe get a standing desk. I know I got a standing desk and I'll kind of move around now and stuff like that. Make sure I'm all good to go. Just make sure that you're analyzing that. And, you might live a lifestyle where you're doing too much activity, and that's a thing too. So then you might want to take time to kind of rest during work, or kind of sit down for a second, or find a way to sit down and work. So just do that. That's something that I kind of wish I would have taken into account more, but that's just me. With this style of training, I just thought it was necessary to share the things that I've done, because it's
something or things that I wish I would have known before going into this. So hopefully that was helpful. Also, again, we are meeting up with Harrison next week, so that'll be pretty cool. I didn't have Ethan with me this week. I think he was super busy. He also got his wisdom teeth pulled out, so I think he was just kind of delirious and just not there. So it is what it is. It'll be cool next week to just get on the track again, go run, kind of see how my body reacts. But other than that, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys liked today's video. If you guys did, be sure to give it a like. If any of you guys are new here, do not forget to press that subscribe button. That said, die trying. See you all in the next one.